Welcome to my messy fingers. I'm Charlie. We are on the final build for the album for Scrap and Create, featuring Ciao Bella's Always and Forever collection. We are here on this back panel, what I call the back panel. I don't worry about covering this with cardstock. I think it's a waste because my pattern piece is going to fit right over this and you're not going to see it. So this is what I attempted to do for the back. Now, if you have a simpler way of doing this, please, by all means. I wanted a big pocket. I created a little booklet. I'll give you the measurements for that here in a minute. But I created a little booklet, used some of the lace to help secure and tie it, and add a little bling. I used a fairly decent size piece of cardstock because the pocket needed to support this and the future weight as photos get added in there. So then I cut actually this was in my scraps. It was a large piece from a previous trim. It was a trim that had the corner of the clock on that page. So I'm turning it on the reverse. I don't care if this is sideways or up or down. And then I had a little leftover pocket, wanted to do something with it. There's going to be lace up here. And then this little pocket is going to go this way so that you can insert something in there. Now, when I cut my base paper, I'm one of these that cuts to fit. I just don't work well with measure this, measure that. I cut to fit. So I came in here and I made sure I kind of had equal border all the way around. And I wanted to stay away from this gusset where the back side of the album folds over. So I'm about 1/8 of an inch off, and I am a hair about 1/8 of an inch on this side. So what happens is it ends up being kind of a wonky measurement. So it's coming in for me at 8 3/8. So building this pocket that we're going to build, I end up with some wonky measurements on the side. I guess I could have spaced it a little bit better, but it will work, so I'm not too worried about it. So this piece was a 12 by 12 piece that I actually had in my spare. I cut it down so that it was 9 5/8, and then I came in on one end and scored it at 1/2 and scored it at 3/4. On the other end, it's scored in at 9 1/8 and 9 3/8. So 9 1/8 and 9 3/8. You have about a 1/4 inch lip here that we're going to use for adhering it on the back. This will work, so I'm not going to worry about it. And then again, you're going to score at 3/4 and you're going to score at 1/2. We end up with a little bit bigger lip on this end. Now it ends up being 5 inches, and you're going to come in and you're going to score it at 4 1/4, and you're going to score it at 4 1/2, and we have this for adhering it on the back. Now, when you do your scores, you're going to come in here and you're going to cut out these corners. Okay, both of them. You're going to cut out right up to this score line. And then we're going to fold this over. I'm going to take this tape off, and then we're going to make sure your score lines are really in there good, because you want to be able to come up here kind of nicely and tack it in on both ends. Like I said, this is how I do it. If you have a better method, use it. There's no rules that say you have to do exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so now this tape that I just took off, I think is going to create a problem for me. Yep. Oh, what a knucklehead. Okay, let me grab back a couple of strips of that tape. Because I'm not ready to mount this in the album yet. So I'm not done playing with it. So I'm going to put this back on here. But this needs to go in here. Okay, nice and snug. And then it needs to fit under here. So what I'm going to do, because it's on the back side, I'm going to run a bead of glue all the way under here. Not going to waste tape. I suppose I could have, but this is just as easy. Get a good bead of glue in there. And then I'm going to turn this over. Make sure the wings are tucked in there. And I'm going to use my tool to burnish. You know, this might not be long enough. I'll use my ruler because I know it'll be long enough. And I'm going to get in here, score that, tuck that back in there. Burnish that as best I can using my ruler because I made a big pocket. Okay. See, and then on the back side, this is what is going to mount to the inside of the album. All right, now we're going to take this piece. And we're going to just place it right here. Get that centered. And I think I'm going to flop this over and use my ruler to burnish. That is not sticking there very well. I must not have got enough glue. Now my little pocket friend here, this was kind of left over from the previous page. I didn't quite know where it went, so I thought, well, I'll just use it here because I'm making a big old pocket. And it gives another element on the front of this. Come just up. Oh, that wasn't cut long enough. Well, that's okay. I've got ribbon left over. I used almost, this is all that I have left. I used almost an entire spool of ribbon on this. I'm not sure how many yards it was. I'll see if I can't find the spool here in a little bit. I have left 24, probably close to 32 inches left. It would have been the same amount. Oh, that's hard for me to believe that there was 21 feet in that roll, but there's 21 feet in this one. And they tend to keep them the same. I didn't, this one's 15 feet, so maybe I better find that spool. Okay. You don't even have to use ribbon. Maybe you chose to use some really nice long die cuts to give accent. So maybe how much I used is irrelevant. Alright, so my thought was to give substance to the front of this was just to, oh poo, hold on. Goodness sakes. This is my friend. I can't use a tool to separate this because I don't want the paper to tear. But I forgot something that for me was pretty important. Oh, for Pete's sake. Why am I fumbling with this? That undo is not quite dry yet, so this is a little bit of a challenge to get that on there. So you can even see with the undo, I kind of tore that. But no worries, because I'm going to cover it up. Oh, goodness sakes, what is wrong with me? Oh, you guys are probably just shaking your head, put palm on forehead and go, oh my God, what is she doing? Ugh. Please don't tattle on me to Julie. Okay, now we're getting to where I wanted to be. Put my lace on. Now, here we go. Cover that up. Get down here. We want top to bottom. Okay, that looked pretty. And then you have a, if I did it on the right end, then you have a little pocket to put something in. Now, I'm going to put that aside. The booklet. I absolutely do not profess in any way, shape, or form to be an expert at this or very proficient at it. But this is how I made this booklet. So I have a piece of cardstock that measures 10 inches by 7. And then I went in and I scored it at 4 7/8 and 5 1/8 so that I had a 1/4 inch gusset. This inner piece, this piece measured 7 inches by 9 7/8. I scored it at 4 7/8 and at 5 inches so that this would tuck right in here. I did run a thin strip of score tape on this gusset so that I could hold it in place, and then I went in and I punched 2 holes. You're going to want to punch the holes anyway, but whether you put in the little grommet or not is entirely up to you. But punch the 2 holes about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Take some of your ribbon and then help secure it off with the tape that's in there. Now, I had some fairly large ones, and as you can see, they're really covering my 1/4 inch gusset, but it was all that I had. Okay, so then we've got a nice little 4-page booklet. So this, I used a piece of the 12 by 12 that still had the cake on it. I felt that, to me, that was an image that I wanted to have on the outside of this, because at this point I only had 6 pieces, 6 sheets of 12 by 12 left after making this album. So then on the back side, well, where did it go? Right there. So on the back side, it was this piece over here on the 12 by 12, and that's what I'm putting back here. And I just kind of came in here and put my tick marks as to where I wanted everything to be. And then I took two sheets to cut the inside panels, and a fourth piece, I do believe, that came from my scrap. So let's get these on here. And the reason I say it came from my scrap is because I don't have any other odd large pieces. And I do try to use my scraps as much as possible. So I'm going to come in here. All right, folding, that's not going to work. I need to... My ribbon is not playing nice with me. Put that under there so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. And then I'll get my back panel in. Now, you don't have to cover the inside if you're going to put photos in. You can mat your own photos, save the sheets for a scrapbooking page if you want. But I wanted to come in here with a tad bit of color. Now, I have various images. One of the images, and this is from my scraps, I can tell because the rest of them are going in the right direction. So I'm using the reverse side, which is this beautiful pastel, because it doesn't matter which way it goes. So there's 2 of those. So I thought I would try to create kind of a pattern, if you will. And then I'm left with 3 of these panels, and then this panel, and the floral on the reverse side. If I look at this side, I have 2 with the clock images, but it's the way I cut this one, I end up going sideways. So I think I'm just going to put 2 of the soft, light seafoam green pieces in there, and I'm going to put this piece here, and I'm going to put this piece here. You lay yours how you want, what's going to work for you. You may choose not to do this. You may choose to get a beautiful piece of cardstock and cover these. It's entirely up to you. Now, because I want to make sure that I've got, I think I inked it. It looked good. Okay, I'm going to come in here. Just think, folks, we are almost done. Pull it down a little bit. Okay, whatever. glue bottle's getting empty. Lay it on its side so I don't have to shake the glue all the way down. Okay, come in here, line it up there. Oh, it'll work. Like I said, if you've got a better way of putting this together so you don't deal with that, that's entirely up to you. You may have opted not to put the ribbon in. Okay. So our booklet is done, and then this sits very nicely right in here. Now let's go ahead, I'm going to take it out because we're going to put the tape on the back, and here is where I'm going to remove these. And I'm going to come up here just on this piece, so I've got some encouragement for it to stay down. And looking at the underside of this, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's lifting. So I'm going to put some more glue in there. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. I had put plenty of glue in there. Just stuck my, what a ding ding. Oh, that's called absent-mindedness. Okay. I'll get in there and burnish that, but now I've ripped this, making a mess of this. Okay, and then I want to make sure that I've definitely got a piece right through here at the pocket, because it's going to support the weight of that booklet and anything else that you choose to put in. I think what I'm going to do, because I want to make sure that that stays where it's supposed to, I'm just going to come in here. Do a little bit extra. So then when I burnish on the other side, it should stay put. Okay. Now, I'm still going to do it the way I've always been doing it. I'm going to turn this sideways. I'm going to sneak up right up to this edge. I'm going to make sure I'm even top to bottom, close to the edge. And then I'm going to start taking this tape off. Now I have 2 strips here on this piece. Okay. And the same here, I'm going to have 2 strips. Come on out of there. All right. Now I'm going to burnish this really good. And because my pocket is so big, I'm going to use my ruler to get in there. And this will help get that glue down there. Okay, so that is your back panel piece. It is done, but we're not done. From your scraps, and this is where I found mine, I found a piece of paper that I could cut 4 half-inch strips. I did not want it floral because I don't want the eye to come to this, but we're going to cover this white gusset piece. And I chose a neutral so that, like I said, the eye's not going in the center with a lot of busyness. I just wanted it nice and clean. Now, you can do yours the way you want to do it, and it's also going to be dictated and controlled by what pieces you have left in your scraps in order to cut half-inch strips. I inked the edges just like I've done everything else. I didn't want it to be out of balance. And it also helps with the visual eye on this 1/4-inch piece strip you have here in order to allow these pages, the buildup of the pages, to fold over. So you're not staring at all the white. I even do it on black albums. I'll come in here with a piece so they can kind of break this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, all right. That is your album. So we've completed this. Your front inside panel, page 1, page 2, page 3 using a colored cardstock, page 4, page 5, page 6, and then your inside back panel with where the pocket is. So there you go. If you have any questions, please reach out, and thank you for following along. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.